hello, and welcome to the Alert Factor. I am Nancy Alert, and I am a real estate broker in Maryland, Virginia, and DC, and I am the Alert in the Alert Factor. Welcome. You are listening and watching us on our TV network. Okay, so here we are at the Alert Factor, and what we're about everything real estate. So, whatever you want to know about real estate, whatever you want to discuss about real estate, reach out to us. You can get to us at the Alert Factor. You can come to our TV network, and we are live every Wednesday from 1:30 to 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So if you click at 1:30, between 1:30 and 2:30 p.m., if you click on our TV network, you will be watching us or listening to us live. So anything you want to know about real estate. So if you have a property for rent or for sale, please list it on real estate listings.info, and you'll have access to the world, right? The world will see your property that you have for sale. So again, I'm Nancy Alert. Thank you for tuning in. We're going to be talking about my favorite topic, real estate. And today, we've had some questions about what should we do? Is this the right time? These are the questions I'm getting consistently. So whenever you guys send me questions via the Nancy Alert on Instagram, or you can send me messages through the Alert Factor on our TV network. Let me know what questions you want to have answers. What questions you have about what's going on in the real estate market, whether this is the right time to buy, this is the right time to sell. Should I be investing in real estate? What do? I need to, change stuff. What can I do real estate related? When do I change this in my house? Reach out to us and we will answer your questions. It may not be the next week, but we will definitely answer your questions on air. So one of the questions we've been having consistently is this a good time to buy? The interest rates are so high. Can I afford it? Should I wait? Is the market going to tank? Is it going to bottom? What is going on? Well, I have one of the experts, and I call her the SMEs in mortgage industry, and the SMEs is the subject matter expert, Miss Jody Perry. Yay!
Hi,
Jody.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you.
I am so happy that you said yes and you're able to be here because Jody has 25 years in the mortgage industry, the real estate industry. She's seen it when it was down, low, when it was up, high, when it was in the middle, when it jumped off the cliff, when it climbed back up. I mean, we've both been through this, right?
We've seen it.
So between the two of us, we have over 50 years in experience in this real estate mortgage industry. So I think we could call ourselves SMEs, right?
I think so. I think we've earned the badge.
So if you can tell us a little bit about you, Jody, who you are, how you got here.
So my path was accidental. I went to school. I was going to be a physical therapist. And then I was paying my way through school. And my first job was I took a job selling water systems.
Yeah.
And the very first night I went out, I sold. And I made more money in that little bit amount of time than I did working all month around my school schedule at my other job. So I got bit by the sales bug. And part of the sales that I like is that I like problem solving. Like I like coming up with solutions. So water systems, as weird and that may sound, the people had pain and they needed a solution. Their pain could be, they couldn't wash white clothes because they would get orange, or they had stains in the tub or stains in the toilet. So they had pain, and my job was to figure out how to fix the pain. you fast forward. Let me back up a second. So then the next step was my family had a health crisis. My nephew was diagnosed with leukemia. And at the time I had my dream job. I was working in sports, again, pain. I was working in sports and I was selling sports teams digital editing equipment. So the way for them to take tape, but now do it on a computer to edit film. And when I got the call about my nephew, I tried to ask for some time off and they said, nah. Wait, no, you can't have time off. And I said, well, that wasn't a question. So I went home, stayed with my family for about a year. And when it was time to get back out in the world, I answered an ad to be a mortgage person. And I knew at the end of my very first day on the job that this was my calling. This was what I was supposed to be and do. So 25 years later, here I am. I love affecting people. I love changing their for me, it's not about that transaction. It's really about the full education. I know that you and I have talked about this, but the transaction's great. And the transaction, frankly, is how I pay my bills.
Right.
But there's so much more to it. Like I want to take people and help them. We fail people on teaching proper credit, proper use of credit, things to do and not do. When I watch the news, I have high anxiety with the information that they're providing. It's horrible information most of the time, and it's not real. It might be real for super rich people, but it's not real for everyday people, right?
Right. And could you imagine how the rest of the world feel if you're having anxiety and you have experience, this information and you're having anxiety? Could you imagine how the rest of the world that does not have this information doesn't know that, okay, this is way past puffery. You're getting this too much. Bring it down a little bit because the sky is not falling. They will believe the sky is falling and then they will be reactional.
Yeah. We are in a different environment right now than we were. And people are nervous. And I get it because they get beat up by the media and social media and TV, like everywhere you turn. There's a lot of different things today than there were. So when I first got in the business, rates first were like 9 and 10%. Seconds were like 15%. And then, they came down and we sat in that like 5 to 7% interest rate for a long time, really never thinking. We were excited when we got in the 4s. We thought, holy cow, we have 4% for whatever interest rates. I would have never, ever in a million years bet that I actually did a handful of loans during the 2020 and 2021 refi boom. I did a couple loans where it started with a 1.
Yes. Isn't that crazy?
It's crazy, but the reality and the part that people don't know and really understand is that's horrible for the economy. You shouldn't have rates should not start with a 1. You're basically
speak.
The challenge is you're seeing it right now. But part of the challenge is when the interest rates are really low and something happens where you need to try to make a correction, you don't have anywhere to go. Money's already almost free. Mm-hmm. So where do you go from there? Do you go to where you have a negative interest rate? Like some countries did. Some countries had negative interest rates. So it's not healthy. I know this is, and listen, I don't think anything about credit or financing is necessarily intuitive. It's, for me, 25 years of riding it, reading. I read every day. I follow things every day. So, but for the more novice or first-time home buyer or person on the street that just says, oh my God, interest rates are 7%. Now, 7's on the higher side, especially now, but they shouldn't be 1 or 2. They probably really shouldn't even be 3. Really, mortgage interest rates, 3.5% to 6%, 5.5% is really where they probably should be. And that's
that's in a healthy economy.
That's for the health of the economy. Yeah. So when we're doing 1%, it was 1.875 but it was one. That was just not like I knew that as we were doing those, we were putting people in really great position, but at the same time, it was at the cost of long-term financial security and stability as a country. Mm-hmm. So, and the other thing that's really important for people to remember or to know that are newer or not in the market yet, listen, 2008, 7, 8, 9, 8 and 9, people keep hearing about that. Oh, the people that got in 2007 or 2008, they ended up leaving their keys on the counter because their house was worth $200,000 less than what they paid.
But those were facts, but we're not in the same market at all.
Those things did happen, but I do hear people like, oh my God, I'm so worried about getting in right now. But the very simple way to explain it is real estate and mortgages caused the recession in 2008-9. It caused it.
Yeah.
It was not a byproduct of the rest of the country. We realized in 2008-9 how very important real estate and mortgages and all the ancillary services are to the economy. Collectively, we are the biggest piece of the economy. So, and we're talking title, appraisers, home inspectors, home warranty companies, all the people that make up this industry, stagers, all that, we are collectively the biggest piece of our economy. So when it tanked, it pulled everybody with them. Exactly. Like we just grabbed everybody and we're like, we're all going down on this ship together.
Exactly. So can you, that is a very, very important point that I want us to go back at it for a quick second, because I don't want the people to miss that part. It's like, it wasn't just realtors and loan officers, right? It was the real estate industry, which includes, like you said, the stagers, the landscapers, the interior designers, the people that provide the lighting, and I mean, it
contractors, handymen, painters,
all of that, right? House cleaners, all, because you getting rid of that first thing. Money is not in. We could clean our own house. You know what I'm saying? So these are all the industries that have been affected by what we did in 2005. The fact that we had money was free. It was free. There was no cost to the money until there was an extraordinary cost for the money, right? We will not have that now. We'll have some issues, and I'll let you talk on that, but we won't have that devastation because we don't have negative amortization loans, right? So you're not owing more money than you started with. Let's just say that for now. We don't have all those interest-only loans so that when you're ready to recast, you can't refinance because the property's worth significantly less. So we won't have that issues. And those were some of the major reason why we went in the direction we did when the real estate market jumped off the cliff.
So the biggest reason was we did ARMs. And when all of the arms were resetting at the same time, and if you had an arm and I had an arm and that was it, the world would have been fine. Mm-hmm. But the problem was billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars of arms reset at the same time. Yeah. And there's a lot of things happened because of that. So now we're not allowed to talk to appraisers. We used to talk to appraisers. I used to call an appraiser and go, hey, Bruce, I need $600,000 on this house. Do you think you can get it?
Wait.
I got you, Jode. I got you. I mean, because we didn't have all of the, the Dodd-Frank and all the RESPA and TRID and all. We didn't have all of that. So it was a combination of the wild, wild west. And it was also a combination of the secondary market, which included other countries coming in and buying mortgage-backed securities. Their appetite was insatiable. And when this will sum it up. I'm at a summit. I'm at a top performing loan officer sales meeting in California. And the owner of our company came out and said, starting right this second, we're having stated income 100% financing with a 600 credit score, because when I first started, we were doing about $1 billion a month. And then they wanted 2 billion. And then they wanted 4 billion a month. And the only way to continue getting more business is to lighten up the guidelines. Right. If everybody had to have a 700 score, you can only do so many loans with people above 700. Then you go to 640. Okay, now we have more. But you know what? We want more. So we dropped it again and again and again. And it was just this appetite. So it was a perfect storm. And we don't have to relive every minute of it. But the difference today is that we're getting affected by the economy, but we're not causing it. We're being affected by inflation. And we can go back to what I said. Rates shouldn't have been that low. Interbanking should have not been at zero. We were basically at zero for interbanking rates, which also credit card rates were much lower. Everything, the cost to borrow was so low. And the definition of inflation is too many people fighting for too few goods. So If you just think about that, I'm going to just say it again. Too many people fighting for too few goods. So what happened? We went into COVID. And when COVID happened, everybody all of a sudden wanted to redo their home. So now I need 25 4x4s and you need 25 4x4s and this guy needs 25 4x4s. And we're all fighting, too many people, we're all fighting for the same 4x4s.
Exactly.
Well, that's what inflation is. Where there was nobody driving in 2020. So gas was cheap. All of a sudden, whew, everybody goes back out. They're doing their makeup year. We didn't get vacation last year. We got to make it up this year. So everybody get in the car. We're leaving right now. Everybody's on the road driving.
We're doing cross country. Yeah, gas goes up, and people wonder what is going on. What is going on? That's what I tell people. You have to pay attention and see what is going on. What is affecting what? When they started that stated, girl, that's how I bought my first 3 investment property. State your income. And here's your loan.
Yeah, it was a crazy, crazy time. You literally, we joked that, unless you had a toe tag on, if you could fog a mirror, you're getting a loan.
Right. And this is why I'm so glad you're here to give this information. So Jody said it twice. Too many people fighting for too few goods. Inflation. So that's where we are right now. That is where we are. And we cannot have 1% interest rate, 2% interest rate if we're going to have a healthy economy. So we're going to take a short break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about all the fabulous, fantastic programs Jody at Gold Star has available for you to jump in the market right now. We'll be right back.
Today we're taking a little vacation on the west end of St. Croix, visiting a seaside restaurant called the Beachside Cafe here at Sandcastles on the Beach.
The atmosphere is just wonderful.
You just feel very welcome when you're here.
Hi! I'd like to introduce Chris and Ted, who are the owners of Beachside Cafe and also Sandcastles on the Beach. This is amazing!
Thank you.
Sandcastle on the Beach is quiet and friendly, relaxing.
I often entertain guests, and this is the one place I always try to bring people.
Tell us a little bit about the hotel.
Well, the hotel is a 25-room hotel. We have 10 different room types within that. We also have, of course, our greatest asset, the ocean out there, which our side of the island is very calm typically. So it's the best swimming beach and also great for snorkeling.
And just walking, doing a nice walking beach tour.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Best beach access is right here, so we love them.
And we're also fortunate we have just up the way Sandy Point National Park, and then Frederickstead Town is just a mile away. Mm-hmm. And so we're really fortunate to be in this perfect spot.
I'm Charles Meriday, and I'm in the restaurant business. In my 20 years as a chef and restaurant owner, I've been able to work and eat in some of the great kitchens around the globe. There's a whole side of the restaurant that most people will never get to see. So now, I want to take you to the back of the house, into kitchens of some of the best chefs in the world. Along the way, I'll share some of my own tips and recipes so you can cook like a pro too. So join me in the back of the house for a whole new perspective on cooking and food. Order in. Roger. Serve it, please.
I'm glad that you came. Please.
I used to watch BET, MTV, VH1, now I watch Tempo. Soca, Calypso, Reggae Dancehall. Don't stall, better get tuned in to the Tempo. Don't have cable, they got an app. Go to your app store, download that. Whether it's tourism, cuisine, or the social scenes, if it ain't Tempo, it's a rap. Who got the Caribbean views? Tempo. It's the latest in Caribbean news. Tempo. You tryna cook Caribbean food? Tempo. You know they got the music videos too. Tempo. Who got the Caribbean views? Tempo. It's the latest in Caribbean news. Tempo. You tryna cook Caribbean food? Tempo. You know they got the music videos too. Tempo.
We're back. We're with Jody Perry, branch manager at Gold Star Mortgage, and she is truly the sneeze in when it comes to mortgages, loans, and things like that. We are talking today about the fact that we need to let everyone know we cannot sustain the economy if we have 1.5% interest rate. It's just not going to happen, people, right? The interest rate has to be higher. There has to be a way to go to move within the industry so that the economy can make money. If everybody's at 1% interest rate, what is happening, Jody?
Yeah, well, it not only takes some of the, we're all in business to make a living. It definitely takes some of the profits from places, but what it really does then in turn is they're not putting as much money back into the economy.
Right.
So it's a trickle down effect. That's not a good one. So yeah, the interest rates aren't pretty right now. I mean, our expression all the time, I have a beautiful flyer about it, is marry the house and date the rate. It just is like marry the house, find the house,
because you marry the house because you're holding it for maybe 5, 10, 30 years, whatever, right? You're dating. I love that analogy. You're dating the interest rate because you can change it.
Yeah. The part that people are not understanding is last year, you did this all last year. Your clients found a house they wanted. So did 30 other people want that same house. So what ended up happening is a $600,000 house ended up selling for $650,000 or $675,000 because there was an escalation.
Right.
And if you couldn't waive the appraisal, meaning, so the way that loans work is your loan. So if I'm lending you 95% of what you need, that 95% starts at the lower of the sales price or the appraisal. So the house is listed at 6. You ratify at 650, or the winner is at 650. If that house appraises at 600, the buyer has $50,000 before the loan starts. They have to come with $50,000 before the loan starts. So I'm gonna argue this all day long. I have data to prove it. Many people could not play last year, period. They could not be in the market. They could have fallen in love with 500 houses. I know that I had some clients that were not willing to even go to full ask price, who
Right.
never won. The fact
Right.
that the agent even had to write the offer was frankly a little ridiculous because
Right.
nothing won at ask price. So everything was elevated. So let's play this out. $600,000 house, you paid $650 for it, and you got a 3%, 3.5% interest rate. Okay, that sounds pretty good. But you overpaid for the house.
Right.
You've always overpaid for the house. For the remainder of that loan, for the remainder of you owning that house, you always overpaid $50,000. Period. Now, today, not only are buyers nervous right now, but guess who else is? The sellers, because they're seeing the market sliding, and they're all going, damn, I wish I would have listed last year.
Right, because they all want what the other sellers got last year. But here's the thing. That's last year. Shoot, that is 8 months ago. That is even 6 months ago. You will not get what they got 6 months ago, because that's how the economy is moving. That's how the market is moving. Yeah, maybe you should have sold it last year. You would have gotten that, but we're not there. We're here.
So,
and next year, we're not going to be in last year's market either. So it's you sell it now. So that's why I tell people, when is always the best time to sell? Now.
Right now.
Right now.
Right now. It's always the best time to buy too. So so the rest of the argument is you can't correct the fact that you overpaid for a house ever. Now, in this market, we're really blessed. Was it a good investment? I'm betting 99%, even when you overpaid $50,000, you still made a hell of an investment.
Yeah.
Because we're lucky here. But you can't correct it. So instead of after 3 years, you having $75,000 of equity in your house, maybe you have 25 because you overpaid 50. The interest rate is temporary. This chaos right now of the United States is temporary. And you know what? Chaos creates opportunity. All those people that couldn't but wanted to get in the market last year should absolutely be getting in the market right now. Marry the house, date the rate. Let's get you in. I have some amazing programs to get you a lower interest rate for a first couple of years while we wait for the interest rate to correct. It will correct, because the reality is inflation and mortgage rates hate one another. As inflation goes up, mortgage interest rates go up. As inflation comes down, mortgage interest rates will come down. It's a fact. It's the way that it works. So as we start, the Fed's going at it hard, keeps raising the Fed rate. As inflation starts to plateau and then settle, we're going to get better rates. So marry the house, go find the house you want, get in the house. The number one wealth builder in the United States. And in my opinion, the most important thing you can do for yourself and for your family is to own a house. It's the way to wealth building. If you do not own a house, you are going to be sitting on the sidelines your whole life, unless you get crazy lucky and you buy Amazon stock 20 years ago. That's the only way that you're ever going to get wealthy. Those people that bought houses in Vienna in 1990 that paid $100 grand, maybe 50 or 100 grand, that's selling for $2 million now. Guess what they did? They just created their retirement and generational wealth for their children.
It's talking about what I'm always talking about: hedging, leveraging, right? Getting involved in real estate. And I even take it a step further. I 100%, like you, Jody, believe that the real estate industry is one of the few industries where you can truly write your ticket to generational wealth. You buy a house, you buy a condo, whatever. But for me, I honestly believe, and I teach this, I tell this to people, I'm all about buying multi-units, buying a building, man. I'm all about, look, you start now, you buy a 4-unit, you live in one, and then in about a year or two, if you want to go find that sexy new whatever, waterfront property, whatever, you actually can do that now. You know why? Because you have 4 units that's going to help you, that you're going to leverage, so you can go get that sexy beachfront condo or riverfront view or whatever. It's going to pay for that 4 unit. Plus, it's going to help you live that life that you want to live. Real estate, get
Cash
involved.
flow, baby.
This
Cash
is the
flow.
perfect time to jump
Cash
in. Cash
flow.
flow.
I love your approach. I'm a huge fan of it. I love your approach, and I totally 100% agree with you. And you can't. There's opportunities now. Yeah, okay. You have a 7% interest rate. Okay, that should not be keeping you out of the market right now. And I'm going to give you a couple of reasons why. One, I already said it. Wealth building, and you have opportunities. The seller will help you right now. You know what? You know why I'm winning all of my deals right now based off of two things. One, I can close in 12 days. You know what? The sellers are nervous as hell. They're nervous that you're coming in, I'm taking this house off the market, and if this doesn't go through, I have to list it again in 30 days. Oh my God, what's the market going to be like in 30 days? So they want it gone. They might do a rent back. Rent back's fine. Let's get the transaction closed quickly. Let's get the seller. And for that 12 days, they will also give us some skin. They'll give us some money, closing costs, buy downs, whatever we need to make the deal work and to make the buyer feel better about this decision. It's a great time. But the second thing is rent's going up 17% across the country, 17% year over year. And rent is the one place where
rent's
they've
gone up since World War II. So it's the direction rent is going. Rent is not going down. It's going up.
Now think about this, and this is going a little bit far down the financing route, but now think about this. You own a 300 unit building. Maybe you own 5 of them. Your money just got more expensive. Your money, the Fed just raised it 3 times, 3, 4, like they keep raising it. So your cost to do business just went up. What are you going to do about it?
Raise the rent.
That's exactly the answer. You're going to raise the rent. So not only are you building somebody else's wealth, but they're charging you for the economy not being great right now. You're getting charged for that. Guess what the solution is?
Buy your own.
Buy your house. Your house is going to appreciate between 6 and 10% this year. Rent is going up a minimum of 17%. There's expectations that it's going to fly off the chart, by the way.
Exactly. And here's how I married those two together. Like you said, buy your own house. And you said rents are going up. Rents are going up. So here's how you do it. And you get to make money on both ends. You buy your 4 units, right? You get to live in one and you get the tenants to pay your mortgage, your rent, and you're building equity because the thing that is happening with those units that you have, the rents can go up every single year, right? The mortgage you have is not going anywhere because it's set, it's fixed. Your rents are going up. Your value of your property is going up. So you're making more money. Your value is going up while you're paying down the mortgage that you owe. There is no other way, people. There is no other way for you to truly, with a little bit of money, not even a lot, in some cases, not any money at all, depending on credit scores and all that. And I do want you to talk to us about that Ask Cash for Buyer program. You have to get in the game. You can't make the money if you're not in the game, if you don't own a property, whether it's a condo, whether it's a townhouse, whether it's a single family home, whether it's a 4-unit or a 32-unit building. You have to be a part of it in order to make it happen. And one thing Jody mentioned earlier about in this market right now as a buyer, you have play. You have things you can do so that you can win and so can the seller. Do you know what it means to a seller if you come in and say, here's my loan. I'm not pre-qualified. I am approved. I'm ready to go in 12 days. So you don't have to worry about me losing my lock and can't afford to buy this house because something happened in 30 days and then the rates went up and now it kicked me out of my debt to income ratio. So I can't buy your house anymore. Now you got to put it back on the market. So it's a win-win. They will give you closing costs if you can settle in 12 days and they will rent back because you know what I think? A bird in the hand is worth more than the 2 in the bushes because the bird in the hand is this person can settle in 12 days. and I get what, 5,000 less, as opposed to trying to figure out if I can get that $5,000 from somebody else that I don't even know if they're out there. Jody.
And you got to make another mortgage payment. We're getting rid of your mortgage payment. Like, people argue about really silly things. And we always say, there's a joke in the mortgage business that nothing good happens after 20 days, ever.
Girl.
So people lose jobs. People go buy a car. People go get their new bedroom set for the new house, but they couldn't afford it. Their DTI was at 49.9, and now they have new credit. Their score, like, nothing good happens. So let's get in early. Let's close quickly. And I will tell you, in my 25 years of doing this, I'm a credit expert. So I'm also going to say one more thing. Start now. Even if you don't know that you can do it now, start now. Let me coach you on how to get you in position to do this. You have to start. And don't go marry that house until you've talked to somebody like me, because you're setting yourself up for a disappointment. Let's get you in position. Let's get you where you can close in 12 days. Let's get you where the seller pays the closing costs, or pays for some buy downs. Or buy down means, like, if the rate today is 7%, they'll pay for you to be at 5% for 12 months and then 6% for 12 months, giving you 24 months for this market to correct. And right now, expectations are 20 towards middle end of 2023 or first part of 2024. So 2 years, plenty of time. So yeah,
I love that.
You have to get started.
You got to stay. That's the whole thing. You have to get started. And the first thing you need to do is contact Jody Perry at Gold Star Mortgage, so she can walk you through what are the things you need to do to get ready, so that when you're ready to buy that house, you will be the person the seller want to say, yes, I'm going to take my property off the market for this buyer because they're set, they're ready, right? So Jody, you just mentioned something about buy it down for 12 months, 24 months, and please go over that again so that the people can understand what you're saying, because this is a big, huge, I think this is a huge deal right now with the interest rates being so high. This is so huge. So can you say that again, please?
Sure. So we have what's called the Gold Star Intro Advantage Program. And its full intention is to help borrowers get into the house for a couple of years. Again, we're dating the rate. As soon as rates drop, I'm going to do a free refinance for you. So we're just dating the rate. But right now, rates, there's many things that go into rates. This is an example. Right now, your rate's 7%. We're going to get the seller to pay to subsidize your monthly payment so that your rate for the first 12 months is 5%. That saves, from $200 to $800, depending on what the purchase price is. So that saves you hundreds of dollars a month. And then the second year, the rate would be 6%, and that would save you hundreds again. And it's paid by the seller. And anything, let's say if we refinance you, you're only in it for 8 months. That money, let's say it's $10,000. That $10,000, we've used 5 of it. The other $5,000 goes to reduce what you owe. So it's a principal reduction. There's absolutely no downside to this. And it's a great way for people to get in homes today.
Excellent. Excellent. I love that. So Jody Perry is who you need to talk to at Gold Star Mortgage. And then you also was talking about a program where it is just as cash, because you fully underwrite them before they find a house. So the only thing that you need is the appraisal of that property and the property to go to settlement.
Contract, title, and appraisal. Yeah. So we fully underwrite it like you've already selected your home, and we've done all the work. So I always say there's a little bit of pain in getting a mortgage. Like, we need some information. We're going to give you $600,000. We need a few things. So we like to do the work. We like to do the work up front, so that, because here's what's happened. Here's what happens. When you go under contract, you've agreed with the seller on all terms. You go under contract. The last thing you want to do is be talking to me all day about, right, I need this, I need that, I need this, right, because you should be enjoying this time. You should be getting your home ready to move into your existing place, ready to move into your new home. So we do all that work up front. It's an approval. Right. And and if you had a little money, So let's go back to that 600,000. You're fully approved, so we do not have a financing contingency.
Right.
And then let's say you're the agent, Nancy, and you're like, it's going to appraise somewhere between 590 and 600.
Mhm.
Well, if you wrote it at 6 and you had that $10,000 that might come up short on the appraisal, you could weigh financing and appraisal and pay cash. That's basically a cash offer, closing in 12 days.
Right. Because say that again, how they can do that. Because I love this. This could have gotten so many people into a property when they were fighting for homes.
Yes.
Because if they only had the education, and again, I think a lot of people miss the part of this job, and you and I see eye to eye on this. It's not about the transaction. Yes, we're about the transaction because we're about to make money and pay for our life, right? But it's about the education and the relationship that we're building with people. So we're giving them the information, not only that's going to help them buy this house, that's going to help them with other things through after they purchase a house and not going to get into foreclosure. It's almost like giving them information to help them be better homeowners.
Yeah, and credit is such a big deal. There's an actual commercial on TV that I love. The guy's walking around, he's like, what do you think's a good credit score? And somebody says 580. And he's like, yeah, if you want to pay thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of dollars more for your life. And that is a really true statement. If you have good credit, there is nothing that you cannot do. If you have crappy credit, I promise you, your life is so much harder. You have to prepay up front for your Verizon. You have to prepay up front for your electric to get hooked up. Or you have a 30% credit card with a $500 balance on it. Like credit is the key to life. And I don't want to just teach you how to get it in place to get a mortgage. I want to teach you how to use it your whole life. Let's get you to 800 and then let's keep you there.
And show you how to leverage. Now, see, it's all about leveraging everything that you have. Everything that you have is an asset. Your credit is an asset, right? Your house is an asset. So if you have an 800 credit score or 850 credit score, and you have a house, we can leverage all of that so you can buy that investment property that you thought you could not purchase. And you don't even have to take the money out of your house. You're just leveraging that to get somebody else's money to buy the other stuff. And that's what you need, is a team, a good team of people that are not just looking about this transaction, how to get their commission on this transaction. What we look at, Jody and I, is how we can help you get this house now, but also how we can help you create that lifestyle, create generational wealth, create exactly what you're looking for, not what we're looking for, what you, the individual, is looking for this property to do for you. Real estate is, yes, for you to live in, but it's also for you to utilize. It's an asset.
Well said. That's exactly it. Let's set them up for life.
Set you up for life. So Jody, I would like for you to tell everyone how they can get in contact with you so that they can start the process, for you to help them if they have credit stuff, for you to help them get on the way so that they'll be ready when they find that house that they want to get married to.
Sure. My direct phone number is 571-229-6091, 571-229-6091. And it's probably the easiest way to go is just go to dmvlocallender.com, dmvlocallender.com. And that's my website, has all my information on it, has the application, all that. I'm not asking you to do the application before we talk. I'm just saying that's a good place
to get to you.
Get some information. And I love having conversations. And it's okay if your lease is up in February. Let's start now. Let's make sure. The worst is when people don't start early and they needed to because their credit's not so good. It's very rare that I can't help you correct your credit if I have a little time. I either need a little time or a little money, or sometimes both. But when we're coming in hot and you're not the 800 buyer, we started
and you
too
need
late.
it now, and then I can't help you, then you say, oh, well, she said that she's everything mortgage, and I came to her and she couldn't get me a loan. Well, yeah, she's everything mortgages. Yes, she's it. However, like Jody just said, you might not be aware that there's stuff that you need to do. There might be things on your credit report that has nothing to do with you. Now, if you start early, you can get rid of those things, get them off of your credit. And if there are stuff that has to do with you, there are ways you can work with a lender to help you take care of those items so that when you're ready to write that offer, you are good. But you have to preparation. You know what they said, the definition of lucky is when preparation meets opportunity, right?
Yep.
So you prepare, and your opportunity is when you found that house that you're like, yes, this is it. You're ready to write an offer on it. Yeah.
And we do, on that note, we do use a different type of credit for mortgages. It's called FICO 4 credit. It does report differently than Credit Karma or your Capital One card. So we really should start early to make sure that you're in position. And again, I don't want to just help you get in the house. I want to help you get in the house with the best program and the best rate, setting you up for success. So starting early is a big win.
Exactly. And also one thing, because you mentioned that, do know that the credit score you see on Credit Karma is not the credit score the car dealership is going to see. It's not the credit score the lender is going to see if you're buying a house. They score on a different scale, on a different level. So when you walk in, like I remember years and years ago, I walked into the car dealership. I'm like, this is my credit score. And then they came back and said, no, this is your credit score. I was like, no, that's not it. This is it. And then they explained to me that blah, blah, blah. So these are the things, that's why we say you need to do upfront. Jody, you have been fantastic. This has been fantastic. Great information. Anyone, if you're looking to get started now and you need the best lender in the DMV, where do you go? DMV?
Locallender.com.
DMVlocallender.com, and get connected with Jody. And for me, I am Nancy Alert. You can get to me, Nancy Alert, everywhere on Instagram, the Nancy Alert, THEE, Nancy Alert. Facebook and everywhere else is Nancy Alert. I thank you for watching and listening to the Alert Factor, where we talk everything real estate. When is it a good time to buy a house? Right now, people, right now. When is it a good time to sell a house? Right now, today. Call me, Nancy Alert, so I can help you sell your house if you're in the DMV area. If you're outside of the DMV area, guess what? I have partnerships that span the United States. So contact me so I can refer you to a professional like myself, and Jody can help you with the loan too. So thank you for listening and watching. This is Nancy Alert for the Alert Factor. Have a great weekend.
They're so good. So Commissioner and Commissioner Positive and Wayne Biggs, CEO, EDA. So what are you guys doing right now?
So we had Farmer John's farm here, roadside farm, and we're in a blackberry patch here. I don't even need blackberries, but this is good. This is good. This is good. It's
very sweet, very juicy.
I mean,
picking them up straight off the vines.
Right. So there's talk about the role of the
Metro New York's port services are currently constrained and challenged in facilitating the handling of international cargo. It's time for a whole new ballgame. Just 55 miles north of the city, Stewart Airport, closed during the base realignment, is an underutilized resource that could be maximized and bring growth to the area and relieve New York City. It's an ideal place for a thriving supply chain center of regional excellence, called SCORE. We intend to support the New York and New Jersey Port Authority's commitment to the New York International Plaza, putting it at the forefront of a transformation of regional global trade, telecommunications, and economic growth. A logistics-based regenerative smart city that supplies an interactive platform of data and document interoperability to optimize resources. SCORE will transform this location into a thriving hub that can process and distribute cargo via various methods of transportation, elevating it to one of the world's best intermodal ports. We aim to build a cybersecure network operations center that enables customers to share data in real time across the supply chain and across the whole region, utilizing eco-friendly practices to keep things running efficiently. And it doesn't stop there. Not only will SCORE develop high-speed wireless networks in a data-driven city to improve logistics and facilitate international trade, it will also create critical infrastructure for regional economic development. By optimizing the business environment, attracting startups and investment, supporting the development of high-value industries such as medical, education, technology, and hospitality, creating new employment opportunities for the region. SCORE will inject vibrancy and inspire prosperity in an underutilized area to develop a greener and more livable smart city that thrives, bringing excellence to the Hudson Valley. It's a game changer. Visit IC Logistics to learn how you can support this SCORE economic development initiative at Stewart Airport.
They're so good.
So Commissioner Positive and Wayne Biggs, CEO, EDA. So what are you guys doing right now?
So we had Farmer John's farm here, roadside farm, and we're in a blackberry patch here. I don't even need blackberries, but this is good. this is good. This is good. It's
very sweet, very juicy.
I mean,
picking them up straight off the vines.
Right. So there's talk about the role of the EDA, enhancing their role and making available resources and technical assistance for agriculture. Why don't you talk a little bit about that, how you guys are working together?
Yeah, I mean, we work hand in hand with the Department of Agriculture. There's lots of things we're doing in reference to try to increase yield in the territory, make the territory a little more food independent, create more resources there. Nadine Machina Ken, who's here on our side, recently held a conference over in St. Thomas and St. Croix in regard to farmers. And of course, we're working on the agro-processing facility along with the Department of Agriculture, which will not only have a processing facility, but also have clean kitchens so you can take blackberries like these and turn them into value-added products. So you can make jams and pies and a variety of different things.
And the EDA also helps by providing funding. There's loans to the EDA. Unfortunately, many farmers don't utilize it, but it's there. But it's $50,000 now. It's still 25. Did it go up to 50? I think it went up to 50.
Well, I mean, there are different programs. There's one directly for farmers that farmers only can be eligible for, but farmers are also eligible for all our other loan programs. So you can go anywhere from that farmers program to our economic development loan program, which is $500,000.
And on the agribusiness and agritourism side, obviously we are developing an exchange between ourselves and Loudoun County. They're a big, obviously, wine country, but they do a lot of local farming. What do you see? What are you envisioning in terms of exchange?
I hope to attract some of these folks to the Virgin and see what we have.